happy Wednesday. I am starting to cook dinner, so I thought I would share a brand new, easy, yummy, simple keto recipe that is like not going to take that long this evening either. It's going to be Reuben stuffed portobello mushroom caps, which I'm so excited for. Looks delicious. So basically it's going to have all of those Reuben sandwich components like corned beef, Swiss cheese, sauerkraut, and Thousand Island or Russian dressing, whatever you call it, that I'm going to make homemade, by the way. But instead of using rye bread, I'm going to use these little gems, portobello mushroom caps. So I will take you through it step by step. Let's get started.
The first step is I'm going to clean these mushrooms by taking a damp cloth and wiping them down all over. I don't wash them under running water because mushrooms are like a sponge and they'll soak up all of the water and they'll get kind of like an icky, slick texture. So that's my little tip for cleaning mushrooms. Then I'm going to take a spoon and scoop out all of those gills and remove the stems. So that'll give us a nice kind of flat area to stuff all of our Reuben goodness.
All right, guys, so I've got the oven preheated to 400. I've got the mushrooms cleaned out and on a baking sheet ready to go. But I wanted to show you how I made this quick homemade keto Russian dressing. It's also kind of like Thousand Island. I don't know why. Some people call it Russian, some people call it Thousand Island, but it's basically the same. So what I did is I started out with a half cup of mayo. I did a 1/4 cup of no sugar added ketchup. This is my favorite brand. I think it tastes just like regular ketchup. I did a tablespoon of spicy brown mustard. I did a 1/2 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And then I did about a 1/4 teaspoon each of dried parsley and dill. And about a 1/2 tablespoon of chopped chives. And whisked it all together, and this is what I got. It tastes amazing. I will probably only use about a 1/4 cup of this and then just save the rest for salads or whatever. But I will show you the next step soon. So my first step here with the layering, which I'm choosing to layer instead of mixing all the components together. I want to layer them up, kind of like the sandwich effect. So I've got a 1/2 pound of corned beef, and I sliced it up and just kind of placed it evenly on top of the 4 mushrooms, and now I'm going to add the rest of the Reuben components. And the next layer, of course, is going to be the sauerkraut, which I love. I always keep a jar of the silver floss shredded sauerkraut in my fridge as kind of like a condiment because it is so healthy for your gut. It's got 0 net carbs and just has that yummy sour flavor. I love it with salads or just like as a condiment for meat or veggies or whatever. So that is my next layer. I drizzled over a couple spoonfuls of the homemade Russian dressing that I showed you. All right, and you know that final layer is the Swiss cheese. I just put 1 slice right on top of each of them, and since a couple of the slices were a little long, I cut the ends off and made one for the smaller mushroom. So I'm going to pop this in the oven, I think about 15-ish minutes, and I'll just keep an eye on it, and I will show you what it looks like when it comes out. I just pulled them out of the oven, and they look freaking amazing. I let them go a few extra minutes, so it was more like 20 minutes, I'd say. You want to make sure the mushrooms cook through and all of the fillings are nice and bubbly. I let it get a little golden brown on top, and then I decided to finish mine off with a little more chopped chives, some fresh cracked pepper, and then I added a few caraway seeds because this is what is in rye bread, so I wanted to give it that full Reuben effect. So they look amazing, can't wait to try it. And that was so easy, you guys. So I hope you try it. If you do, let me know how much you love it. Hey guys, happy Thursday. I'm back with another easy, yummy keto dinner recipe. And tonight I'm coming with something that I get asked about a lot, which is how I prepare my salmon. So salmon's a really popular keto food. It's high in healthy omega fatty acids. But a lot of people either don't know how to do it or they don't like it. Well, here is a little tip for you. I used to not like salmon, you guys. I used to think it was so funky and fishy and strong, and I just could not do it no matter how hard I tried until I started buying it fresh. So here's the thing. Salmon is one of the most mild, flaky, delicious fish if you can get it fresh. Once you freeze it, it turns into this super fishy, strong fish that only fishy fish likers will enjoy. So my Walmart actually, surprisingly enough, started selling big
fresh planks of salmon. That is fresh, says right on it, fresh, not frozen. So that's one thing you want to make sure. It has not been previously frozen because that will bring out the fishiness in it, no matter how hard you try. So I get that, but the problem is that it has the skin on the back, okay? You're going to want to cut that skin off. If you cook it with the skin on, again, you're going to get a super fishy fish because a lot of that fishiness is also in the skin. So if you get it frozen with the skin on, it's like a double whammy. But if you can get it fresh and cut the skin off, boom, you are set to have some really nice mild salmon.
I have removed the skin. So basically all I do is I just take my knife and run it this way and kind of hold up the fillet and just go whoop, right underneath it. So that's how I get, you know, the meat loose from the skin. In case you were wondering, I have 5 squares of foil and I have sprayed the foil before I put the salmon down with a little bit of coconut oil spray, just so that we have no stickage whatsoever. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tablespoon of butter on top of all 5 fillets. I'm going to heat up the grill and I'm going to decide what seasoning I'm going to use. I'm not quite sure yet. Might use like a grill rub type of thing. But basically that's it. I'm just going to put some butter and seasoning. You can do a lemon or orange slice or whatever kind of citrus you like. And then you gather up all of the foil to kind of pinch it together and form a pouch. So that's how I do my salmon. I'll show you though, step by step, what it looks like. The next step is I'm gonna make my side dish, which is going to be some fresh Brussels sprouts. How I'm gonna start that is I'm just frying up some bacon in a pan. I cut it into pieces like this big, just for frying purposes. I'll break it up into smaller pieces after it is fried. But basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cook it till the bacon is done, and then I'm going to remove the bacon and have all of that amazing bacon grease goodness left over in the pan, and that's what I'm going to cook my Brussels in. While that's happening, I'm going to halve these and cut the stem off. And then I will also show you the salmon. Right now I'm heating the grill up and I've got the butter on the salmon, but I'm going to season it up next. The salmon is seasoned up. I've got a tablespoon of butter on each, and I have decided to use this Girl Mate Sweet and Smoky Rub. Tastes amazing. It does have a couple grams of sugar per serving. Some of it will, you know, obviously run off, and I won't be eating all of it. So if you're strict keto and you don't do even just a couple grams of sugar, you may want to opt for a different seasoning, but I just really like this one. It's yummy. But yeah, so that's all I'm going to put on that. I will fold them up and make the little pouches and throw them on the grill. I have got all of the Brussels sprouts de-stemmed and halved, and then when the leaves fall off, keep them in there because they're going to crisp up and be delicious. So I've basically just heated up the pan that had the bacon grease in it, thrown the Brussels sprouts in there with a little pink salt, fresh ground pepper. You could also add a little bit of butter, which I might do because the bacon grease is already kind of getting soaked up, and we don't want the pan to get too, you know, dry and have them burn or anything like that. We want to cook them nicely through until they get kind of browned and almost charred, but not burnt. I actually used to hate Brussels sprouts, but that was when I just tried steaming them. If you are going to cook them, you've got to like almost char them. You can roast them or do them in a skillet like this, because it cooks out that sulfuric taste and they almost get kind of sweet, and they'll be amazing. Right. So I let my Brussels sprouts get to where they was getting some nice browned charred bits on them. Meanwhile, the salmon's over there cooking away. It'll probably take about 15-ish minutes. I just want it to be flaky but not overly done. So I poured in, when it got to that charred point, I poured in 1 full cup of heavy whipping cream, and I've got it on a simmer, just kind of bubbling away, and it will thicken up and make this delicious sauce. I did end up putting 2 more pads of butter in this because the bacon grease all kind of soaked up, and I needed a little more, you know, moisture to the pan. So that's almost done, actually. You can see the cream is already thickening up nicely. So that will be ready to roll, and then I will just kind of crumble that up over top right at the end and give it a toss, and that will be finished. So I'm just waiting on the salmon, and we are almost ready to eat. What it looks like when it's done. It's fogging up my camera, but that is the steamed kind of grilled salmon. When I open up the foil pouch, I serve it right in the foil pouch, so you've got all the nice butter down there below it. And then that is the Brussels sprouts with the cream and bacon. So it's ready to eat. I'll probably do a little squeeze of lemon on top too. But that's it. I hope you enjoy.
Hey guys, happy hump day. I wanted to pop in because I'm making literally like the easiest thing ever tonight, but it is so super tasty. So I'm gonna make it in my Instant Pot, but if you don't have an Instant Pot, you could do this in the crock pot. Just obviously you'll have to do it for several hours instead of like under an hour like the Instant Pot. That's why I love my Instant Pot. But 3 ingredients, you guys. Ingredient number 1 is a roast. I have chosen a nice big rump roast, but like a chuck roast, any kind of roast will do, like a beef roast preferably for this recipe, but pork may work too. I don't know. A couple smashed cloves of garlic, and then a whole jar with the juice and everything of Greek pepperoncinis. So they're like pickled. They're kind of like the ones that you get with pizzas sometimes, but I'm going to dump the whole dang jar in there. You can pull the little stems off if you want, just so that you're not doing it when you're actually eating it, or not, but all the juice and everything. I'm going to throw all 3 of the ingredients in the Instant Pot, slam the lid down, and boom, we're rocking. So let's go.
So this is what it looks like. I've got it all loaded up in the Instant Pot. I cut my roast into like 4 bigger chunks so that it will cook faster and more evenly. I like it to be shredded all the way through. I don't want to have like tough parts in the middle. So that's why I did that. I did the whole jar of pepperoncinis. I did remove the stems just so that we don't have that when we're eating. Got a few cloves of crushed garlic and a bunch of pink salt and fresh ground pepper. I'm going to slam the lid down on it, and I mean, it would probably be done within a half an hour, but I always like to go a little over because, again, I like my meat to just be like shredded apart. So I'm going to probably do about 45 minutes to an hour. I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. This is what it looks like when it's all done. The pepperoncinis have like cooked down and kind of melted into it. It's got that nice like tangy, spicy thing going on, and it's shredded. So it's ready to go. You can serve this on buns. If you're not keto, you could have some keto buns that you can easily make. 90-second bread, cauliflower rice, mashed cauliflower. So, or just as is, you could melt some provolone cheese on top, and it will be super tasty. To show you how I serve mine, I did a bed of steamed cauliflower rice with a little pink salt and Kerrygold butter to season it. A big scoop of the pepperoncini roast with some of the juice and peppers and a sprinkling of mozzarella, and I popped it in the microwave to melt it, and that's it.